always.
I always read. Let me stop.
All right, we are live, and I am your girl Shuli, and I am here to speak it with my guest for World Voice Day, Wendy J. Turner. She is the leader. I forgot to ask you, Wendy, what you prefer. I know you're not big into titles. I wanted to call you pastor, but she is the founder and leader of Hope Over Hurt
Yeah.
Ministries. And she is the host of the HOH radio show, Rise Up and Pray. And beyond that, she's a philanthropist and a powerhouse, which is a word that I do not use often, but
Oh,
I mean it. I mean it. Your ministry is strong but mighty. And I had to have you on because today is World Voice Day. Happy World
wow.
Voice Day to everyone. Yes.
Police.
I know. She calls me the voice police. Here we go.
I
Here we
should
go.
have.
But yeah, voice police. I'm in the
Yeah.
house, but we're here because, of course, you know, ashe is the West African term, right? To speak a thing into existence. And we're here to speak it. And the
True
theme for this
power.
year, yes, power, power.
Yeah.
That's that power
True
that,
power. Yeah.
yeah, that the world can't give you.
No.
And we're here and we're
We're
gonna
here.
speak it. So tell me your background. I gave them a little bit, but tell us your journey to ministry real quick.
There.
I
Wait.
know. I just hit
Uh,
you with one.
well, first, thank you, Shuli. I'm so proud of you.
You're welcome.
Let's just start there. I think you're part of the journey, and uh, the journey is watching just what's happening now. It's This is what it's all about, and so it's a moment when you see circles become full. So kudos to
Mm,
you.
thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
kudos to you. I've watched you just kind of tip, and I just pray that it's a an overflow of movement in faith.
Thank you.
you know Ministry is something that I think it was a double-edged sword, because I realized ministry was me. I didn't I know a year that it became serious, but I
Mm.
was always different. I was always ministering, let the family tell it, since I was a little girl. 4 years old I
Okay.
would minister, 2 years old I would
Oh
minister.
wow.
The first story of memory to my mother was she would cry at the grave of her mother, who died when I was still, in her womb.
Hmm.
And she would go every weekend, I think, at least once a month or every weekend, to the graveyard, Paradise North, and she would cry. And I would go with her and my dad, and we were on our way to get out of the car. And we didn't have car seats back then. Okay,
Mm-mm.
like, hold on and grab for what you know. Grab those chairs, baby, and just don't fall.
Jesus be
Um,
offense.
just that. And so I was standing up, and I said, "Mommy, are you about to cry?" Because we were getting out for our routine visit to see her mother. And she said, "Probably so, baby." And I said, "Mommy, grandmommy doesn't want to see you cry.
Mm.
She wouldn't want that." Now I was two. How'd I know that? So at that moment, mother said she got took back. She said that was the time she never cried again at the site. After that moment, it turned her around. So ministry is something people must realize, that when God is in it, it's it's already there. It's gradually in your face. It's sometimes a sucker punch, but it's always there. So I would say ministry knew me from a child, but I said yes after fighting in 1998.
Mm. Okay,
Yeah.
1998. Which means that's why you understand my fight. I get it. Is that why you're so patient with others? Because you understand that sometimes there's a journey to get you to
Yeah,
it.
because I was young, and I was like, "Listen, I'm not married. I like sex. This doesn't fit. So God, yeah,
Yeah.
let's do another thing. This isn't the one for you." I said that. Like, I literally said that. Boy, what happened to me next? I
Hmm.
got whooped.
I was about to say, tell me a little bit about that. After you told the truth to God, like, we're not doing this.
We're not
We
doing this.
like the physical
We
God,
like the physical.
but you're
I was
calling
I
me.
smoked cigarettes then.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, did we talk about this? We'll get into how we met, but okay.
Yeah. I smoked
You don't
cigarettes.
even look like it.
Yeah. I smoked cigarettes. I smoked Newports.
Wow.
And would have my Kahlua in my coffee. And I lived in Third Ward with my baby, my son. And I remember, just having our moments, me and my friends, if they had cigars or whatever, and it'd be smoky, crazy. And we were young. And I was like, this is crazy. Whatever this is, I keep hearing, nah. But then the Lord started opening up the word, having it sit just politely on the coffee table. And then I'd open it and it would be as if I've read the entire book. It was definitely something way beyond the norm. And I was like, scared me because I opened it and if I felt it, it was me. I don't know how to explain it. At that point, I told the pastor I was psychiatric and needed help. And to admit, I asked for admitting me. I found a psychiatric placement center.
Oh, seriously?
Oh, I'm serious. I said, Pastor Robert Johnson, I have found the right place. They'll take my insurance. We need to just write these papers. You can tell them I've had a mental breakdown because something wrong. He said, baby, put them papers down. You finally about to take your call. I said, take my what? He said, your call. So at that point, it began the process of trying to figure out what that looked like in my life, which was a whole nother ballgame.
Wow. Okay, I'm learning something new about you. Okay, to the Newports, those Newports. That's some serious cigarette smoking. But you answered your call, and I don't know if we had this discussion, but my first time actually seeing you, but not really meeting you in the capacity that we know each other, when I was really, like you said, going through an awakening moment, and it was around the holidays, and I was looking for something to do, and I saw a celebrities give back or something. It was close to me. I don't know if it was Thanksgiving or Christmas, and I went, and it was your event, and that was a one-time thing, and then I did not see you again until you showed up in my office. So you were doing your journey for ministry.
Ciao.
And then something hit you, because along the way, right, you have bumps in the road, you have things that can get in the way that could hinder you. But the thing that was a bump in the road for you was your voice. And that's how you landed in my office. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I knew serving and being a part of the city was something I was, and it was becoming stronger and stronger to where it started scaring people how much evangelism and ministry and mission I was being led to do. So I was hard in, right? And so fast forward during that time, Tammy Roman and Touche Harvey, within a day of one another, said, you need to pray.
Okay.
On Instagram. I can't. I was like, say what? Why would I do this? They said, because people need it. I said, well, who needs it on Instagram?
On Instagram, everybody.
And I said, nobody. I said, okay, I'll do it for 5 minutes.
Okay.
And that's what happened. I laid on my rug and I'm sitting on it. It's dirty now, but I sat on it. It was new. And I laid back and I did a quick little minute. I said, I'll be doing prayer tomorrow. Catch me. That was 2017, January 4th.
Wow.
I started praying 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, non-stop.
Doing the math. Okay.
So I was preaching 2 hours a day, no sermon script, 5 days a week, and prophesying on social media. I had a toilet paper roll. A Scott towel roll is my phone hook. Yes, ma'am. And I sat on the hardwood floor and I ministered for 2 hours a day. And I thought 5 minutes, what happened? This is a joke. So my vocals became part of my body was depleting nutrients. And along with that, I was swelling. So I went to the doctor because I couldn't sing soprano anymore. And he said, you have these little things on your throat. And he put the thing down. I remember that. I was like, no, I was already mad for doing ministry. Then they said, you got to go find you a therapist. And then they gave me your name. So I was doing my due diligence after all of this abuse to the
I'm
body.
Just sticking my head.
Yep. I was ministering hard. That's a lot of hours. That's 10 hours a week nonstop. And so I know. By the time I saw you, I was rugged road.
And you ended up in my office, and you went to the doctor and you showed up and you were very afraid. Tell me about that fear. What was that like? What were you thinking?
What, with you or with the doctor?
Well, you were afraid about you just kept saying, I need to get my voice back. I need to get my voice back. The doctor said my voice is hemorrhaging, that kind of thing. And when you're
Yeah.
saying that, and it was just the urgency of, I need to get this right. Tell me about the fear, or maybe it wasn't fear, or what
No,
was surrounding that.
I didn't know they were about to stick any tubes down my nose.
Okay.
Let's start there. That was
Okay.
enough to make everybody just say what, wasn't cool with that. Okay. I was not okay. I didn't like him. I didn't like her. I didn't want them spraying more and stuff to numb it. And I was like, I have come to this point. Oh, come on, for what? Because there was no money in it. I wasn't getting paid. I didn't even know how to collect. I didn't have a nonprofit set up. I at the time, I just was ministering. So when I got to you, it was like, I'm about diligence. If I say I'm gonna get something done, I'm one of those, let's see it through. You know that about me. I'm a steam truck.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, you're who I gotta go to. Okay, well, let's get this right. What do I have to do? And so coming in there, I was like, okay, just what is it gonna take? He said 6 months to a year therapy with you. Okay, is this what you think? Okay, great. Yep. So it was more of, let me just do what I have to do, because this is what is for his people. So much to see people change. So many marriages came together. So many people were baptized. It was no way this was going to be unable to do his bidding. So for me, it was fervency also, because I believe at that time, especially, I was being driven like a whip with a horse. God was like, not in a bad way, but he was literally, I'm at full throttle by then.
You were busy, right? You were so busy, and coming in and having to do therapy.
Yeah.
You had faith in me, and I thank you for that. But did you have any thoughts? I want to talk about the process a little bit before we go into some other things. Coming in, the doctor says you have to get your voice therapy. You've done the scoping. You're already feeling like, I'm limited in terms of ministering, because, as they say, 10 toes down. You were 10 toes down. And I remember when you showed me the video, and just, you're dynamic, and that's who you are. And when you give, and I've seen that about you, and I admire that you give, I mean, all of you. There is no holding back. I don't think I've seen you hold back at all. And when you came to me, and I'm like, okay, I have to help her, but I also understand gifts in ministry. And I know you have to be sensitive in that area. But did you feel like, coming in, did you have any expectations of voice therapy?
I knew you had to work. I was concerned if I would be able to do the diligence of things on my own, because I move so fast and my days are long. And it was like, okay, am I going to remember to turn, to breathe, and am I going to practice the, as
all of those things?
So I was like, okay, am I going to remember? Then on top of it, we start doing the radio. I was like, oh, Lord. So I added, you wanted me to take away, and I added.
You did. And the voice rest, you have the button, like you said, you don't have it today. You were on voice rest, and that whole thing for you, you were like, okay, I'll do my best. And you say you text and you do those kind of things, but you are truly busy, as most voice users. You're a vocal athlete, and I call you a conversation starter, because to me, a conversation starter in my voice world is a person who goes out there and they use their voice to influence others and to do great things. But you truly are busy. And I had to track you down, which is how we ended up doing work, right? On the job, voice.
Yes, you did.
At the radio station. Because I was like, okay, how do we get this done? How do we get it done?
I said, you got to meet me here, man. 5:30 in the morning. This is where it's going down. 5:30. Can you get here 5:30? It's not far from your house. 5:30. You here? That's what happened. And there you were, looking like you half cocked, one eye open, like,
that morning.
This ain't my portion. It's cold. Yeah, it was a thing.
Yeah,
it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing.
It was the whole thing. Your whole team was involved. This is what I appreciate about you. You were very transparent about your journey. Your whole team was involved. And I would come in and I'm sitting there like, I'm not trying to be here on the radio. You're like, hey, the voice police is here. just let the people know. But you really did.
And when you showed up, I knew, like, when I was remembering that's how funny the mind is. And when you think about, just the training in psychology, I knew when I would see you there, is that Skinner? I think it's Skinner. But when I would see you, I was
Oh,
conditioned. It was, you
like,
know,
uh-oh. Uh-huh. And you would say that, like, uh-oh, I can't do that. This is you
right.
trying to turn, because one of the things we talked about, right, is your posture, in that you have to face the person that exactly. And you're like, oh, okay. But you really did work hard, and I've seen changes in your voice. But tell me where you are with it now, because here we are now in another heavy time.
So I feel sad.
Okay.
When I try to hold back, I do. I can feel it, and it does the moment a disservice. You know, I've always made a good joke about in Zingarito, that
Mhm.
sweet honey voice. You know, if I could just give messages with sweet honey, honey, I'd be good. Like, but I'm the one that comes with all the, whoosh, whoosh, you know. So I listen to her, and she'll make jokes like, we'll be on phone 101. She's like, oh sis, and I'm like, yeah, what up? And so they say Wendell. They'll call me another name, Wendell. You know, that's who's here. Yeah. So I feel Wendell will come, and it won't be with that same oomph, because I
Okay.
might be cautious, or I'll
Mhm.
massage these. So it feels as though a part of me isn't where I want it to be.
Mhm.
And I need to get better at staying diligent, but it's so very important. If anyone needs to know, um, like right now, when I'm thinking of this morning, I was ministering, and I was trying to think of breathing. I
Mhm.
tried. It clicked. Something, it was like,
Okay.
and I'm up and I'm seeing all this pop, and I said, "Oh Lordy, help! It's over." And then I at that point, I'm let her loose. So I
Mhm.
think it's difficult for people who are in this type of vocal athleticism to cue to
I love it.
cue the start of what their therapist is telling them. And I just ask that the therapist be patient, and I think you
Mhm.
are. Lord knows, if I had to have you travel with me, that's, you know, you would be the one that would keep me, oh, I'd be okay with you in my, it's funny how God chose you, but
Mhm.
it's really not funny.
It's really not. It's just God. That's
It's a
how
setup.
it. Yeah.
It's a setup. And so
Mhm.
that's the
For
part
me
that I'm
too.
like, so you're gonna put a powerhouse prayer boy in here, huh?
Mm.
Okay.
For me too.
But
I'm just over here behind my little speech desk. But
yep.
and I'm watching, believe it or not, I'm watching, even if I don't say anything, and I'm trying to deliver it via osmosis, but I'm always kind of watching.
And I know I'm not, I don't know. I think I'm about a C.
Okay,
I
you're
think
a C.
I think I'm a C, maybe a C. I think people need to take seriously what you're trying to do to help those who use their voices. It's not just those who sing, but those who sing. You know, surely I was a first soprano.
Mm.
Second, I could sing soprano. I cannot.
And a lot of people who come to me, they will talk about those changes in their singing voice, and they don't really think about the speaking voice. But when that change hit with the singing voice, that's when they want to say, okay, something is not right. And they'll come to me and just, I mean, a lot of them just forget the speaking voice. They just want to sing the way they used to sing. But a
Right.
healthy voice is a healthy voice.
Yes.
And you just
And I
have to
did.
do the
I
work.
haven't ministered as much. I mean,
Yeah.
I've slowed down a lot of that. So that was a hard choice. It was change the times of day. Don't do it every day.
Mhm.
Those types of precedents had to become more relaxed for me too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And working with your team to let them know how you needed assistance from them with certain things, and how you do Bible study. Like you said, turning over those responsibilities and breaking it down and all of that kind of stuff. I applaud you for that's management. That is management of your vocal load. And and you just choose to do the things. There are certain things where you have to show up. You can't substitute it. It's you. And I get
Mhm.
it, but you have worked very hard considering your load. And what I
Thank you.
appreciate about you is you acknowledge and respected your gift. Like you would just talk about that. Your voice is your gift. And most people don't see it as that. They just think, this is my voice. You don't give any thought to it, which is
Right.
why the theme this year is focused on your voice.
Right.
And we're in the age of talking about with the pandemic, and we're prayerful for everybody that's going through
Yes.
something, those people who are on the front lines. And we have started using this word essential.
Yes.
Your voice is also essential. Because if you can't speak, if you can't minister, you can text, but it's people are not going to feel it the same way as if when you're on stage, not even on stage, but in the pulpit, or you are having an opportunity to use your voice. Your voice is that extension. It can reach out and touch the hearts of people. And I know that you all believe that you are the hands and feet of Jesus. And I also believe that our voice is also his tool to be used. And if that voice is injured, then what do
Child,
you do?
that was the whole thing. It was a lot of decision making. It was a lot of decision making, being honest about it, having to make a true sacrifice of letting people down.
Mhm,
I don't get the same allowance of people that we used to reach because I do it at different times. Many times they're already at work. So I was doing 6:50, 7 o'clock to
mhm,
7:05, then 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So it would reach the West Coast and the East Coast and then anyone in between. But I could not keep that going. So really and truly the reach has definitely lessened, but that was one of those tough decisions. It's
mhm,
funny. I saw something with Lauryn Hill, whose vocals are amazing, but her voice is just, you hear Lauryn Hill, it's Lauryn Hill
mhm.
speaking. And she said, listen, I was so ashamed of at one time of carrying that guitar because people would look at me and say, what are you, a hip hop guitar folk singer? What are you?
Mm,
And she said, but whatever you are, you have gifts. You have special gifts, each of you. She's
hmm.
like, the catch is that you've got to just be able to respond in those gifts and stop fronting. That's
Ooh,
what she said. And so that's perfect, befitting for World AIDS Day, World Voice Day.
yeah, World Voice Day, right?
But yeah,
But
stop fronting.
stop
Check
fronting.
out this. This is something that's important. It's not, if your stomach is hurting, that's one thing. When these change, it could be something very serious.
Yes,
Check it out. We know people with throat cancer. I hate to say that, but it's the truth.
yeah.
And you are someone that is trained. And I, at the time, what you think, the way I sound, how is it that this is going to get what fix it? I remember thinking that, how can this
Mhm.
fix it?
How can it fix it? Mm.
I know they're going to have to cut it. They're going to have to cut,
That's what
but
you
I'm
said.
not
I don't want the
getting,
surgery. That was your fear. That's what it was. You didn't want to have to get the surgery.
they
That's
were going to
it.
shut me up for a whole, what, year? Oh, no, ma'am. I was just going to have to sound different. I ain't got to do
Mhm. That is true. I forgot. That's what it was. You did say that. I don't want to get this surgery. I have to get this right. And that is because you still have to change your
Yes.
patterns and your behavior and your habits, even if you get
Yes.
the surgery, right? Because if you have that type of injury, and I don't want to get too technical, but we call it phono trauma, which is these little micro traumas and things that happen over
Yep.
time because you were using your voice. You were, and you use your voice a lot. But if you didn't learn some technique, like how to breathe and connect that, and like you said, project your voice and how to warm up and how to rest and manage your vocal load, then even if you had gotten a surgery, you can still go back and regress and have issues if you don't change your habit.
Right. I know, it's good. You're giving good stuff. That's the hard part. You don't think about it until you're in it.
Mm-hmm.
We take our vocals for granted, unless you're a singer or unless you play an instrument.
Mm-hmm. And then you
Then you'll,
baby it.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's different. They care more. I think just when you're talking, you think you're talking. I think I felt good because around the same time I was struggling, Trevor Noah was too. And he was having to be on voice rest.
It's
So
a thing.
I'm very quiet around the house.
Mm-hmm.
Brian will tell you it's pretty silent here. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like to hear a lot of televisions. And I don't always talk. I'm quiet more
Okay.
than, yeah. So he'll
Which is
tell you,
good. You
yeah,
know, I love that because you do. You have to be on so much. And again, I've seen you in action
yeah.
and you have to be on. Now let's shift. We've talked about how you got started. We talked about how you ended up in my office. But again, focus on your voice, not just the physical voice, but your voice of influence is
Mm,
amazing. You don't take that for granted either. You really do mean it when you say you love God. You are here to serve, and you say what love is our
our,
arsenal.
yes.
You mean that. So tell us what's going on. We know we are facing a pandemic that we have not experienced in our lifetimes. and you're on the move and you're looking for ways to make impact.
Right.
Talk about it. What do you have going on?
You know, it's funny. The world is always in a speculative state, but God is waiting for us to make an impact. We have what we need. Okay. And I think we're just merging in with the feel of what God has for us to do. And to that point, you know, you'll never run out of need of food, education, medical care. Someone will always be born and somebody always will die. And it seems like in the African American community, somebody always want to get their hair done. So with that said, there was a line around a beauty supply store in Houston, in the outskirts of Houston today. And I'm like, so you're in a beauty supply store. Wait, they're open. Let's just start there. So
let's talk about that and how we're at home. We're quarantined.
25 plus. I saw it. Yeah, today. So with that said, we want to rise to the occasion that we believe God's met us there. And that is to love people through medication. Well, should I say through medications that we know are natural, to offer medicine as not only an alternative, but a whole lifestyle change. And so we have begun the Hope Clinic, the Hope Over Hurt Clinic. And it is a place that is very affordable for the most part. My goal has been to give some of the things that the more upper echelon or higher socioeconomic status could afford, but make it more affordable for the common woman and man. And to do that by having co-pays be reasonable if you don't have insurance, receiving higher end healthcare or alternatives such as certain supplements, learning what you could do with your body overall, and still having a mental health component all in the same place. So we have Dr. Melita Williams as our medical director. She's overseeing now our newest addition is the nurse practitioner, Fernando, who will be responsible for intravenous therapy. We have an infrared bed that we're excited to put into full use.
I'm ready.
which is amazing for weight loss, sure, but it's good for circulation, high blood pressure. It's known to help with cancer. Let's just say, I can't say it cures anything, but it's basically your body getting 3 hours of sun in 15 minutes. So we're offering $1 a minute on the machine. And so all of these things, you'll be able to get water after, maybe cucumber water out of a carafe, and just music. So it's got kind of a cool feel, because while you'll be able to see a physician or telemed in another room, we'll have the computer up and you can see Dr. Williams or see Fernando face to face, receive your vitamins, order off of our Fullscript site. And these are things like if you want to do proteins, if you're into weightlifting, if you're into bodybuilding, we have a site for all of that. And so all of that is to say, let's get the body at the cellular level healed, so that anything that comes to us, such as a COVID-19 experience, cancer, rare forms of leukemia, anti-inflammatory disorders, lupus, multiple sclerosis, you have an opportunity to start the body. The best I can say it is, we want your body like it came out of the womb.
Reset.
Removal of metals, trace, get your blood tested, see where you really are with everything. What is it that your body is needing more of? Let's see what we can do to boost it. And so that's the type of clinic it is. And they're still able to write prescriptions, traditional antibiotics, pain meds. They can still do that, but they're going to also look at ways to do it from a holistic level.
I am a supporter. I am absolutely in love with the thought of that, because when I went through it, of course, people are concerned, right? And they don't know with the COVID going on, and it's just, there's so much information out there, and you're afraid you don't know if you can get it from going to the grocery store, droplets from this, from that. And I remember I was having sinus issues and I accessed it. I've done it already. I paid my little copay. Dr. Melita was so thorough. And I finally figured out how to access, right? What is it? The script. I want to say Fullscript. And I need to go ahead and get it. So she prescribed something for me, like a natural remedy and a mouthwash that would help with my sore throat that I was having. And I went and picked that up. She called that into a pharmacy. It was thorough. It was one of those in and out in 30 minutes.
Did it work?
It did. I mean, I'm feeling better. I'm feeling much better. And I still have to get the Fullscript though, the allergy one that she
Okay.
prescribed to me, but I didn't know how to use the site. Now I do. Now, with that said, tell people how can they get access to this and how soon can we access full service?
So we're in phase 1. So you can actually go on hopeoverhurt.org, click the button that says clinic. It will lead you to the page about the clinic, just a landing page. And you'll see where it says for appointments, click here. To get the Telemed app, click here. It's right there on the site.
Okay.
On hopeoverhurt.org. Yay.
All
and if
right.
you want to get the scripts, it's down at the bottom. It'll say order your supplements down there. And so bovine colostrum is something I still recommend for you. You need that in your life. It's one of those strong, heavy-duty physician-grade antibodies that she recommends. So if you're doing that with your selenium and your vitamin C, and you know the IU's amount to take each day.
Yes, you told us about that. We have a list. Do you want to throw that out there? No, I just know from the meeting that we had lots of vitamin C, and you said it's close to, I don't want to misquote, 50?
Well, you want to just do it as much as your stomach can allow.
That's what, okay.
Tolerate. But, you know, vitamin D3, vitamin K, grapeseed extract, it's the reason they all work together. They truck together. Bovine colostrum is an amazing antibody. It's from a cow, which tends to take everything and turn it to an antiviral. So we are into all that. But then what's going to be awesome is you're going to get to experience Fernando. And Fernando gives the best IVs. And when I tell you, you're going to feel it in 20 minutes. If you've never had his cocktails,
okay,
you're going to be like, what happened? In 20 minutes, you're going to jump up and say something's wrong. Like, I'm ready to run.
I'm ready for that. I need that. Being in this house and eating up all the snacks. It's time for a change. It's time for a change. Okay. Well, I thank you so much.
So phase 1 is already up.
Yeah, phase 1.
2, we had just finished looking at some land, and I'm waiting to see where we're going to be, waiting on what the government's talking about. We could be anywhere in the next 7 to 14 days.
Oh, let me tell you something about Wendy J. Turner. When she's talking about a plan, we're not talking 7 years, 6 months from now. If she's talking about a thing, we're talking about Speak It, in the true name of Speak It. If you're talking about a thing, it's happening. And I remember when you started talking about the clinic and all of that, it's like, oh, yeah, by the way, the clinic is here. I'm like,
NPI surprised me. When I got my provider number as fast as I did, I was like, what? So I had to catch up.
So you are an example of Speak It. I mean, really believing in the power of God working in your life and working through you. I've seen the things that you've manifested, and I appreciate you for coming on. Tell people how to connect with you.
Man, God is so faithful. Connect with me through love and just keep praying for us all on the worlds and all over the world. Keep praying for us. I can't do any of this without my Abba, my creator. And I give him all the glory, and I love him so much. And I'm thankful that even though it gets hard and discouraging, that he chose, me to be a part of the path. And it's been over 20 years and it's still this here. So, this is my life. This is real. So how do you find out about us? Hopeoverhurt.org is one great way to connect with us. You can hit me up at info@hopeoverhurt.org. And that's where you find us. Check us out. We're doing all kinds of prayer calls. We're on Zoom now. I mean, Sundays, 10:30. Check us out. Wendy J. Turner. That's my ministry name. So you can find me on Instagram and on Facebook and all of that. And definitely you can ask Shalonda because she knows how to find me.
Yes. I'm putting this in the chat.
Okay. Did they have any questions?
I know. Does anybody have any questions? We still have people on. There are no questions and no comments. I'm presuming people are listening. I'm still trying to figure it out here. Just people have been tuned in and probably listening because.
Well, good. We need them listening.
YouareTheBomb.com. So I'm putting your information up. Wendy J. Turner on IG.
Yeah.
Get in on that prayer call. What's up?
You may have a location in the Acres Homes, honey.
In the Achy Breaky? In the Achy Breaky.
That may be where we're about to land. you know, but
It's,
I'm about that life.
I was about to say, where are we now?
On missing that with the Stoots. Shout out to the Stoots. Them Stoots be strolling. I'll be out there talking about, come here, baby. Let me give you Jesus.
You ready? You are always that's hey, we're ready. In
We're
the
ready.
name. In the name. I
In
thank
the
you
name.
for tuning in. I know you have to go, so we'll cut this short because I just love chatting with you anyway, sitting
I
at the
do
feet of the
too.
Wendy J. Turner. And I thank you all for tuning in. This was my first installment of Speak It.
World Voice Day?
World Voice Day.
Yes, yes.
On World
I feel
Voice
so
Day.
honored to have been chosen. Yeah. Thank you for coming to my rescue.
Oh my gosh, you're welcome. It really, again, it was a setup.
It was the Holy Ghost setup, but I
It
didn't
was
say that.
it was a setup.
Tell
So
your family I said hello, and your brother and your mother, and let them know I love them and thinking about them, and your nieces and all of that.
I
And
will.
just keep on praying. I thank you for being a part of the fold.
Oh, you're welcome. I thank you. And to you all, I hope
Yeah.
you've listened and you've been inspired. And if you need any help with your voice, first of all, get the help that you need. Don't ignore it. Seriously, you don't want something as simple as a voice fix to hinder you from your purpose. And then use your voice. This is a time where your voice can connect you. It can, connect you with other people. It can be used to comfort other people, to heal, to spread love and joy in this time. So be about it. Go out there and speak it. And until next time, I am Shuli G.
Amen.